Well, hello, this is Kimberly Brock, and for over 20 years, I've been running my own businesses that have not only been profitable, but personally fulfilling to me. So now I'm on a mission to help other new business owners, just like you, make money doing what you love too. Now we're going to have some fun, so let's get started. Well, hello, friends. This is Kimberly. It's episode 282, and I'm so glad that you're here today. We are talking about the information overload epidemic that is affecting so many small business owners, especially new business owners like you and new podcasters. I'm going to talk about it today. I kind of made up this term, the information overload epidemic, because it is an epidemic. It really is. I'm seeing this all the time with my coaching clients and people that are in my group programs. I have seen it. And it's so frustrating because it's killing your productivity. It's actually really hurting your business. And I don't want this to happen to you. I want you to be able to build your dream. I want you to feel focused and happy every day and confident, knowing that what you are doing is what you should be doing. But all this information overload is seriously, massively hurting your business. So today we're going to talk about it, on how it's hurting your business. You may not have even realized all the ways. And I'm going to give you 3 steps for overcoming it and breaking free so that you can feel focused, happy, and confident as you build your business dream. So if you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you found this podcast. I have no doubt it's going to help you along your business journey, whether you are in the idea stage, starting or growing. This is for you. So first of all, I have some party favors for you. If you're a new business owner, and also too, if you're thinking about starting a podcast, I have resources for you that are free down below. Obviously, you've got all these podcast episodes that you can just binge today. So binge all the episodes all you want while you're on a walk, while you're doing the dishes, while you're cleaning the house, while you're driving, whatever it is. And you can listen with kids too. This is a parent-approved podcast. So I have clients that tell me that their kids listen in the car on the way to school and stuff. And I think that's the cutest thing ever, that they're hearing about business. So shout out to any kiddos that are listening today. I'm so proud of you. And maybe you can start your own business very soon. So again, if you're new, grab my freebies down below. Like if you're starting your business, I have a 16-step checklist that you can work through really quick. I have a free training if you're starting a podcast and you want to figure out how you could do this to build your authority in your niche and actually grow your business. So check those out below. And there's more freebies too. Also, too, I have a free Facebook group called Women Starting Businesses and Podcasts Doing What We Love. So make sure y'all check that out and get in the group. I would love to have you in there. We have fun posts each week, and I love to get updated on what you're doing. And if you've been listening well, thank you so much to all my loyal listeners. I do this for you every week for you because I know that all you need is this little push. You need this push of these business skills. You need the push of confidence and motivation. And I know that's really it. That's all you need because you have what it takes already to build your business dream. And I'm giving you that last little nudge to keep going. So I'm so proud of you. And thank you for all the reviews. The ratings have been awesome. The written reviews have been wonderful. And then, which reminds me, if you've been listening to this podcast, well, maybe only a few episodes or maybe for years, I have people that tell me they've been listening all 5 years to this podcast. Would you be so kind to just really quick leave a written review? It means the world to me, and I can't help but think that it tells Apple and Spotify and all the players that this podcast is worthy and it is one that should be listened to. So all you have to do is hit the 5-star rating. That'll take you like 1 second, literally 1 second. And then if you have a few minutes to write a written review, just really quick about what this podcast has meant to you, how it's helped you, what you've liked about it. If you can just type that in there really quick, maybe someone else who's looking at podcasts will see your review and be like, okay, I'll take a listen. So I appreciate it so much. It really does. It means so much to me when you do that. So that's it. Okay, on to the episode. Well, hello, friends. How are you? How is everything going in your business? What's been going on? Have you been creating new products or services? Have you been streamlining what you're doing? That would bring me a lot of joy. That would bring me so much joy. Do y'all know the Marie Kondo, how she always says, like, what is it? I haven't even totally watched it, but people talk about it, how you should only keep things that bring you joy. Is that right? Y'all have to like confirm with me since I haven't totally watched it. You know what brings me joy with you and your business? When you streamline it and when you simplify it. Makes me so happy. Y'all have no idea because I know When things are more simple, you're going to go farther because it's just easier. Your life is easier, your business is easier, it's easier for your clients. I've seen my grow getters streamline their products and services, and it's just awesome to watch because they now know what sells and they know what doesn't sell, and they get rid of they trim the fat, right? And they get rid of it and they stay focused on what they do best. So I'm so happy y'all are here today. This epidemic of information overload is a real thing, y'all. It's a real thing. And I sat here before I was pushing record. I'm like, is this a crisis? Are you suffering a syndrome? What do I call this? A disorder, a disease, a viral infection? I called it an epidemic. And those words are all too familiar, right? When we think about COVID and all that, I've never heard the words like epidemic and all this. Can you imagine like everything we have been through since 2020? Y'all, and we've been through it together. Isn't that what's funny? It's like I started this podcast end of 2019. Little did I know, like 5 months later would be all the drama, y'all. Isn't it crazy? But this information overload epidemic is a real thing. And I want you today to wake up to the reality of how it's probably killing your productivity and possibly your business. And I'm not even kidding. I sound dramatic today, but the reason I'm so passionate about it is because I'm in the same boat as you. Maybe I'm at a different point in my business, right? It's kind of like my son. He ran the Woodlands Marathon last weekend, a whole marathon. Now he trained, but not totally. So he did walk some, but he did it. Okay. And it was like, there's some people way ahead, there's some people at the back, but everybody was finishing at some point. You know that? Everyone was at their own pace. Some people had been training for a long time. And it's just kind of like me with you, with our businesses, right? I'm just ahead of you, but we're all in this same race, if you want to call it a race. I think it's a fun, amazing, exhilarating journey, but we're on the same track together, right? I'm just at a different point than many of you are. Heck, you all may be ahead of me. I have no idea. But it's a real thing that we're on this journey and we're all trying to learn. And the problem is that in the last years, and it's literally been in the last, I don't even know. I feel like it's been in the last, since I started this business, the amount of information available, just flat out available to all of us is insane. I was thinking about how I consume information. Y'all, I listen to podcasts. And I'm even thinking back when I started this business 5 years ago. Y'all know I've had businesses since year 2000, but this business I guess I started doing things like 5.5 years before, right? So, I mean, before this, right? So, like early 2019, I was starting to like investigate. I was listening to Tony Robbins. Then I started watching videos of him. Then I started looking at stuff online. I started reading blogs. I got audiobooks. I got physical books. Y'all, it hasn't ended. There's even stuff on TV. Now you can get YouTube on your Apple TV or on your TV. And I've watched stuff on there. I've printed stuff. I have so much crud on my desk. Y'all, I need one of you to come over and clean my desk because I keep notes. I have a digital tablet. Y'all, there is so much information. I have the Notes app on my phone. I have Google Docs. I have Dropbox. Y'all, the struggle is real. And I'm never going to say that I haven't experienced it because I'm in it too. But that's why I felt so compelled and so passionate about talking you through this. Because what I'm seeing is that a lot of you that are starting your businesses and podcasts are starting to feel super overwhelmed. You've got so much information. You're like, here's an example. Should I start a course? Should I start a membership? Should it be free? Should it be paid? Should I have a group program? Should I do one-on-one coaching? Like, what am I doing? Should I sell physical products? Should I sell merch? Like, should I do a subscription box? Like, what is this? And I know it's because of the marketing that's being thrown at you. I talk about this periodically. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated not only by all the information that we have access to, but also for the fact that when we try to just like check out for a little while and like get on Instagram or do something, we're still being bombarded with information. Y'all, it is real. It is an epidemic for business owners like you because you're trying to figure out what's the template for what I should be doing. What are the steps? What is my step to success? What is my pathway? Just tell me A, B, C, D, E, and I'll do it, right? Don't y'all say that? Like, If someone can just tell me what to do, I'm ready. I'm motivated. I want to do this. I'm passionate about this. I know I can help people. I know about this stuff. Like, let's go. Right. But then you're researching, you're learning, you're following even people like me. So I'm not exempt from being someone that is giving you a lot of information, right? I know you probably listen to all kinds of podcasts and you may listen to audiobooks and watch YouTube videos and you follow people, but it can be massively overwhelming because you will get various opinions on things. Like my opinion is things should be simple. You should be doing it in an authentic way. And I kind of have my own system, right? But you may listen to someone else who tells you to go all in and spend $500,000 and do a ton of ads right now in the beginning and all this stuff. And I'm sure that there's a success path with that, right? I think all these people have a success path. Now, some of them, we won't even go into it. I don't think they're in your best interest at all as a new business owner, and they will try to sell you on that. So again, I'm biased because I have my opinions. But see, this is my point. Y'all could listen to me and I have my opinions. You can go to listen to somebody else or watch somebody else and they have their opinions. So what do you do? What do you do as a business owner when you want to be the best you can be at what you do? You want to, you're trying to get focused on what you should be doing. You're trying to take action. This is all in the best interest of the people that you want to serve. But you start feeling overwhelmed and it's heavy. And you're like, well, I heard I should be doing this or I should be doing that or I should stop doing this. And how much time? And then I don't know if you've listened to books like Atomic Habits. Have y'all listened to that? I loved Atomic Habits. That was really good. Also, another book that I read was Willpower Doesn't Work. Have y'all heard of Willpower Doesn't Work? I love it. Really good. Just talks about how human willpower really doesn't work. You have to set up boundaries for yourself. You have to like hack yourself. Like I always say that I do to myself with like sugary foods that we get or desserts. I'll just hide them. I won't even remember that we had them. And I just saved myself. It's a life hack, right? If I'd had it out in the kitchen, I would be eating it all day long. So we all have to hack ourselves. That sounds terrible, but that's what we have to do. But we have to do it in our business, y'all. There is a massive crisis going on. We've never had this much information at our fingertips to find out about anything. And now with ChatGPT, I've been on ChatGPT. I was even like crafting this podcast episode. I've never done that, y'all. I usually wing my podcast episodes. I have my own outline that I came up with. And actually, y'all, it's so much easier that way. Like I think about what I want to say in the beginning. I already know the topic. I think of my 3 points and I turn on the microphone and I talk. But I've been reading a lot about how you could use ChatGPT to help you with your podcast episodes and YouTube videos. I've been doing research because y'all know I have the Pod Squad coming up and I'm going to be helping y'all integrate ChatGPT with helping you with this. So I'm like, I've got to know this stuff, right? And it did help me today. It helped me with kind of, I don't want to say scripting, but just outlining kind of this episode. And it's really neat, but it's like, again, it's information overload. Like now I've gone into this thing where, oh, I need ChatGPT now to do this and figure this out when I'm not relying on what I already knew. Y'all, this podcast has been successful with me not doing all these extra things with ChatGPT and scripting. And I never did that. And I don't even know if I will continue to use this. I just did it for today because I'd been researching some stuff. See, again, information overload. It's like, why? But I guess hopefully it will enhance this. I don't know. There's things you got to work on with titles and hooks. And, I'll teach all that in the Pod Squad. But I do think it can get overwhelming. I think that's why I felt like doing this episode because I'm like, I'm starting to feel like, wait, what? Like I'm recording this right now and I'm getting information overload over a topic that I already came up with, that I knew about, that I had personal experience with, that I, felt it myself. I've seen it with my clients. And now I'm needing to go to another source to figure out what I'm going to say today. And it just seems overwhelming. So I know how y'all feel. I get it. There's a lot at our fingertips. We want to be efficient. We want to be productive. But here's what can happen. The more time you are spending consuming, the more you can feel behind. I'm not even kidding. You will feel behind. Like today, I could have recorded this episode probably 2 hours ago. I'm not even kidding. Because I started taking notes and then I was on a tangent and then I was trying to get ChatGPT to streamline some stuff. And y'all, I could have already recorded this. Now, We'll never know what I would have said compared to what I'm going to say now. It's really not that much different. Just some other cool stat that I got that I think will be interesting that I got from doing this on ChatGPT. But it really is overwhelming, and the reality of the information that's at our fingertips is daunting, and we have to figure out how to manage. We have to figure out how to hack ourselves. What are we doing? We have to figure it out right now. So let's go through this because I do have some tips and I think they're good for myself and for everyone listening. Okay. First of all, let me go into why this is so dangerous for your business too, as if you don't know already. But again, the more time you spend consuming, the more you're going to feel left behind. Sometimes it can be like a mirage, like an illusion that you think that you're actually learning more and doing more, and you just keep going and chasing, but you never get there. You never get to the point where you're like, yep, I know it all. And we're good. So if anybody asks me any question, we're good. I mean, I never feel like that, right? But I don't think we ever could, even with all of this information, right? Realize that the problem isn't that you don't know enough. It's that sometimes you know too much and you don't know what to focus on. And I love that. Sometimes it's that you know actually too much. You have too much floating in your head and you don't know what to focus on, right? We just have so much information before us, but instead of making us smarter and more productive, I believe that it's actually keeping a lot of you stuck because it's making you more ponder both sides of something. Like when you're trying to make decisions and you're like, oh, but I could go this way. Oh, wait, or I could go this way. Instead of kind of going with the feeling in your gut, not that our gut, I mean, I do think sometimes our gut can be tied to our emotions. And I think our emotions sometimes can steer us wrong. I could go on a tangent about that in your personal life, right? That we have our emotions get in the way. But I think we have to use our brain. Like if you didn't have any of this information, how would you be figuring it out? I think you would already know a lot of the answers, but we feel like we need to consult with all of these resources that we have. But again, there's an illusion of progress. It's like a trap. It's like a vortex that we're getting sucked into. And it's like fake productivity. It's actually not productive. Like it's fake, it's faux. Do y'all remember faux painting? When was that? Was that the early 2000s? I had faux painting in my dining room. Oh, I actually had it in my kitchen and living room too, now that I think about it. I did. Anyways, it's a fake productivity trap. We think learning equals progress, but it's not always the case. Here's the stat that ChatGPT gave me. I love this. This is amazing. Okay, it says, do you know that the average person consumes 75 gigabytes of information a day? Can that be true? Can that actually be true? Where was the resource? Okay, I need to find the resource. Okay, here it is. Here's the resource. A University of California, San Diego study on data consumption. 70 was like 74 point something gigabytes of information a day. Y'all, how scary is that? We are not human computers. I mean, we are amazing and God created us like I can't even believe. But seriously, 75 gigabytes of information, y'all. And they said, here's the problem. We don't actually use 99% of it. Wait, what? So we're using 1% of the 75 gigabytes of information that we're learning a day? Y'all, this is crazy. It's crazy. Now, our brains are wired for like new information and we're like hunting down things and we want to know to improve ourselves. But are we actually applying it when we scroll and when we're watching and we're learning? How much are we actually applying? Like, y'all, I said, I'm looking at my desk right now. There's stuff that I printed. Was it a couple years ago? I threw away a bin of printed things that I had downloaded from the internet for my business. From when I was starting my business, like pre-starting in 2019, I looked at that stack. This was a couple years ago, and I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen, and threw it away. But now I'm looking, and there's a few things on my desk that are printed again. Y'all, the struggle is so real. Here's the good news. There is a way to escape the information overload epidemic. There's a way that you can escape it. So this is the good news. Everybody get excited. There's 3 key steps that I'm about to share with you. This is going to massively help you. Okay. No, I'm not going to steal from the Atomic Habits book or anything like that. I'm just going to give you some practical solutions that you can apply right now in your business. Okay. So, number one, this is what you're going to do. You can do this. I'm going to try this. I think it's going to be hard because I'm like a squirrel running around and just want to soak up new information. But here we go. Number one, set boundaries for how much time you actually are learning each day. Who knew that we would have to do that? But like you could set a timer like every day. Maybe you spend time and I've heard others do this where they set specific hours like 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 that they're reading about a subject that they're teaching about in their business, right? Or that you're educating people about, that you're sharing. Maybe like an hour a day that you can spend learning or 30 minutes. I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know where you're starting from. Like, do you find that you're spending hours doing learning or you're spending like an hour and you need to go to like 30 minutes? Or maybe you make it certain days of the week. So I would set a timer. Maybe it's 30 minutes at a time for learning. And then you switch to action mode. So you go from learning to action. Okay. What boundaries could you put in place? So make sure y'all are taking notes. Again, I don't know if you're on a walk or what you're doing, but you got a sticky note or your notes app. Number one, what time boundaries could I put in place for learning? Okay. What time boundaries could I set a timer? 15 to 30 minutes. Also, read something that like compared to the 1980s, our brains process 5 times more data. I totally believe that. Don't y'all believe that? Like there's so much more data being thrown at us than there was in the 80s. I mean, I was young in the 80s. We weren't processing this much data. Life was simple. We didn't think it was simple. Our parents didn't think it was simple. Compared to their age, it was very, it wasn't as simple. But anyways, okay. So for your 3 steps to break free from all this information overload, number 1 is to set a timer, set boundaries. Okay. Number 2, realize that you already know enough to help your people. You already know enough. Y'all, right now, if I called you on the phone and I said, okay, and maybe your business was about, I don't even know, home decorating, candle making, interior design, I have no idea, landscaping. And I said, tell me about it. Do you realize how much more you would know than me? Do you realize how much more you would know than me? Maybe you sell something on Etsy. And I said, tell me about that. How the heck do you make that? I'd be in awe. I would be in awe of you. You already know enough. So what are you trying to learn? Now, if it's something specific, I get it. You can look it up and learn a little bit. But realize that you already know enough. And I think a lot of you don't know that about yourself. You really don't. You haven't acknowledged it. I mean, you do know. Here's the funny thing. You actually do know deep inside. If I told you it's okay to say it, you won't sound arrogant. You're not bragging. But do you feel like you know about what you know? I'm not going to think that you're bragging or anything, and you're going to be like, actually, yes. So actually, you do know. You just are a humble human, but you're also one that is feeling a little insecure about doing this, about with your business or your podcast. And so it's causing you to believe that you're not enough yet. Like you don't know enough and you got to keep learning. That happened to me when I started this business, y'all. That's why I had a bin of papers. Well, I mean, a bin. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like a tree was cut down for all the stuff that I was trying to learn on paper. It's sad. It's really sad. And I already knew enough to help people with their business. No, I'm not like the greatest expert in the world, but I already knew enough compared to where my clients were, right? You know more than your clients know. And that's why they're paying you. That's why they want to pay someone, right? You already know enough. Like the average entrepreneur, a lot of times has more knowledge than 90% of their audience. So some of you listening today may know more than me. I totally agree with that. But a lot of you are just behind me on the same road, just like the marathon visual, right? Business isn't about knowing everything. It's about taking action with what you do know right now. Okay? If you've been waiting until you know everything and you know it all, you're already ready. You already know enough, okay? Okay, so our 3 steps to break free from the information overload epidemic. Number 1, set boundaries, maybe timers for how much you learn each day or week. Number 2, acknowledge that you already know enough to help somebody. There's a certain group of people you could totally help. Think about someone in your niche right now that knows nothing, and you could be like, okay, I can help you get started right now. You could. And number 3, focus on what actions you can take now to get sales now. What action could you take now to get sales now? So many of you are just not doing. You're stuck in learning, right? And when you're stuck in learning, it actually starts affecting your decision ability. And then you're like trying to make decisions and you're like, I can't. What can I do today that actually brings in sales or moves my business forward? What can I do today? Again, y'all know if you've listened to my past episodes, I'm all about simplicity. Your business has to be super duper simple and streamlined. Okay. And so if you do that, then if it's already streamlined, then it should be it should be super simple to figure out what to do next to get sales. Is it sending out an email? Is it texting some people? Is it posting on social? Is it doing a podcast episode? Is it telling people that you now have you're running a promo on something, a beta group on something, you've got your samples, your first renditions, you're going to be here or there, you're going to be speaking. Can you reach out to somebody, get on their podcast, have someone on your podcast? You could speak at an event, you could volunteer, you could sponsor something. There's something you can do now to get sales. I guarantee it. There's something you can do. If I told you, you've got to make a sale by tomorrow, what would you do? What would you do? You'd do something. What's the easiest thing you could do? Right? So again, how do we break free from this information overload epidemic? Well, first of all, we were conscious about it. We talked about it today. It could be hurting you. It could making you less productive, getting you stuck in that mode of not thinking you're good enough and that you can, the mirage of thinking you can get to be the expert in your field and you never will be. It's a mirage. It just is, it's still far away. That can never happen. You realize that it's giving you decision fatigue. It's doing all sorts of bad things that are killing your productivity. It's hurting your business. It's slowing you down. You're not getting anywhere. Okay. So how do we break free from that? Number 1, we set boundaries. Number 2, we realize that we already know enough. And number 3, we focus on what we can do right now to get sales right now. That's it. Y'all are awesome. So much for listening. I hope you've been awakened today, and I hope you reach out to me. If you have felt like you just need some help sorting through things like this, maybe you do have decision fatigue. Maybe you still need more help with how to be more productive or how to structure your day. Make sure you reach out. I do offer one-on-one coaching. I do have my Pod Squad coming up for those of you that are starting your podcast. And I have other programs and ways that you can work with me down below. So check those all out in the show notes. I don't want you flailing around. I don't want you going about this alone. Realize that this is possible for you and you can do it in a simple and authentic way. So I'm so glad you're here. That's it. Y'all have a great day. Until next time, bye now.
Now, this episode may be over, but our relationship does not have to end here. Head on over to KimberlyBrock.com, and yes, you can get more valuable information for your journey. And you know what? You don't need to go through this alone. I would love to help you. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.